I don't know. Sometimes you just got to be assertive with it. Like you see somebody doing something, then try to jump in there and see if you can help them. I don't know. I don't know. I mean I don't know. That's dangerous. Never mind. That's not a good idea. Actually, I mean, it'll be more work for you potentially, but depending on who it is, it may not be somebody that, is an ideal client. But not that you can't do work for them, but, just be careful with that. But,
Welcome back to the IC Pixels podcast. This is David.
this is Anthony.
Thanks for tuning in for another week. We're trying to stay on schedule and all that stuff. So here we are.
So we apologize for that.
We're not going to apologize for being on schedule.
Oh.
It's just a happy accident or whatever you want to call it. So it's the holiday season. We don't want to hold you for too long. So we have a quick episode we wanted to drop. Have you finished your Christmas shopping?
No, but
have you started your Christmas shopping?
Yeah, and it's kind of working out because last week we got a work bonus, and I don't know what that was. Got a nice. I mean, well, it wasn't that big. I got a little bit of a bonus at work, so that was nice. So, and then this week we had competitions. Well, not this week, but we had competitions at work. You had to design put decorations on your door of your office. And so I won that, so I got some money off of that. So far it's working out. So if I can finish this painting I'm working on, Christmas will not be coming out of my regular check at all, which would be great.
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah, my job gave us a bonus, and they sent me a letter saying how much the bonus was going to be. It's supposed to be like $500, but taxes killed that.
Oh, wow.
I think the check I actually got was like $250.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty bad because I had all kinds of plans. Did I blow no, I didn't blow the money. I did buy something for myself that I wanted, and then the rest of the money I haven't spent. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe some clients will pay me and I can have Christmas. I haven't done basically any Christmas shopping. Well, I did some yesterday, but I have several other women in my life I got to shop for. So
your other family.
Yeah.
No, we went to Target because he likes to get stuff for his cousins, and how many cousins he has.
Yep.
When you have but
you could wait because they're out traveling, so they're not gonna get it anytime soon.
No, they ain't so.
I heard they were going to Ohio, then to Mississippi for something. But anyway, we digress.
Maybe. I don't know. Whatever the case. Yeah, so that kind of wiped out that bonus I had. Every year I got to buy another one. So, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, I haven't done any Christmas shopping. I need to get to it. So we wanted to talk a little bit, considering the need for money for Christmas gifts and things like that. We wanted to talk a little bit about ways to find clients. So a few weeks ago, I saw a video on Facebook somewhere. This guy was talking about how he has done things to find clients. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to find clients. I know in the past we've talked about how we find clients, and like my methods have generally been through referrals and things like that. But I want to talk about other ways because like referrals are not always possible. Like if you're just starting out or whatever, it's not always possible to just say, hey, refer me. And yeah, so I want to talk about a couple ways to find clients. Well, more than a couple. So the first one, I guess, let's start with referrals. Referrals are always powerful. If you have people you know or people you've done work for already, it's always good to let them know, like, hey, I'm looking for more work to do. I think, let's not call it referrals. Let's say speak up for yourself. Because if you're willing to speak up for yourself and say, hey, I need work, I'm looking for things to do. If you tell people that, a lot of times, especially if you do good work, they will find stuff for you to do, or they'll refer you to people they know and things like that. And so you can make those connections. And I think it's also good to speak up and tell people what you do. because I've definitely been like at a family dinner where like some stranger is there, or not a stranger, but somebody non-family member is there, or this guest in town, and in casual conversation it'll come up what I do, and then it's like, oh well, yeah, we need to talk, and then bam, that turn. Sometimes it's turned into work, sometimes it hasn't, but I think that awareness is important. So just letting people know what you do. Of course,
I mean, don't walk in the door with like business cards.
Yeah. Don't be annoying, but I think there is a way you can casually tell people, like, yeah, drop it, so I was at work today, designing for a large design firm.
You know how it is in the biz.
Yeah, in the industry, that is known as a Pantone color. Like, don't.
What industry is that, you ask? Well,
like preemptively answering people's questions. Like, hi, it's nice to meet you, and I'm sure you're wondering what I do for a living. Well, let me tell you.
I'm glad you asked. I've got a PowerPoint right here that explains it in 5 easy steps.
If you'd like to sign up for my webinar, like, okay, all right, chill, leave me alone. Don't be that person.
Just pass the biscuits. Like, come on.
Yeah, I really like the design of these biscuits, and the color is great. Almost like that poster I designed earlier this week. So yeah, just don't be that terrible type of person. But I will say the holidays are a good time to make some of those connections, because you tend to be out parties and events and stuff like that. So definitely, it's important to make sure you have business cards. It's important to be ready. Like, so this is a saying I've heard someone say, I don't remember where, but it's always be ready for the Super Bowl. Like, people, the football players, whatever.
Never heard that before.
Or always be ready for the World Series. I don't know. Just be ready, because like, you never know when it's going to start. Of course, that doesn't apply to football, because you know when it's going to happen, but you don't know when someone's going to throw that pass your way, and you need to be ready to catch it. And the player that can catch it one-handed, or catch it just at the last minute while someone's trying to tackle him or whatever, he practiced. So you got to practice and be ready. So like, that's a lot of things you got to do. I don't want to go into a whole diatribe about that, but like, that involves things like, make sure you have business cards with you all the time. They're not dusty. They're not wrong. Because I remember I used to hand out business cards and say, oh, that number right there is wrong, but you got to use this other number down here. And it was a lot of caveats that just made me look less professional and all that type of stuff. So make sure your business cards are on point. Make sure your website, even if it's not perfect what you want, just don't show the stuff that's not ready. Get it looking good. Make sure you can describe your services and what you do well, not just like some vague, I do stuff. I'm a creative. I'm a creative is so vague, doesn't mean anything. But tie it into something those people understand, and then also make sure you're comfortable or able to comfortably talk about what you do to novices. So don't able to talk about what you do without all the jargon and stuff like that. If I'm just throwing out all kinds of terminology, so I was on the Wacom the other day with the Photoshop, and I went to the edit menu and adjusted the color balance, and people are like, whoa, can you make a business card for me, or should I just go on Fiverr?
I don't want to see how it's cooked. But,
yeah. So I said all that to say,
I mean, how the sausage is made.
That
to be ready.
Yeah, be ready. I think being ready. I think that's my first tip, is be ready, because if you're ready and you kind of observe, I think you'll see opportunities more happening around you, especially if you're out interacting with people. You'll see more opportunities. Because I remember when I was starting out after college, just through observing and watching, I saw opportunities around me, and some of them came through, not all of them did, but by paying attention and kind of speaking up when I did, I at least let people were aware of what I did.
I casually drop stuff sometimes, and sometimes I'm a little self-conscious about it. It's like, am I talking about what I do again? Like how I casually dropped that I'm painting on this podcast.
No, it's not even casual anymore. You're at this point, you're littering with all the drops you do.
Well, I'm literally painting at the moment. So.
All right, so get this guy out of here.
Did I mention that I?
Well, it's like the guy that has a nice car and he's constantly like, oh, and so I had to get my Porsche serviced this week. It's like, all right.
That's why I hate when people ask what kind of car I drive, because it's like, dude, no, it's not fancy. Chill.
Well, I just tell this is a different topic, but I just tell people, oh, a silver sedan.
Yeah, that's better because I hate the.
Oh.
It's like it's Mercedes, and then they look at me like, oh, then I have to like pretty much like doesn't work. This is broken. What are you talking about? It's old. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I just say a
Your
sedan.
your Camry is worth more. Leave me alone.
I tell people a sedan, and then when they see me, and they're like, and I'm like, no, my car is
You
my
come
car is a
through.
teenager, son.
Yeah.
Can't be driving these underage cars. Anyway,
Yeah. All right.
so I guess the next way I was thinking of was social media. I can say that I've done this maybe once or twice where it actually turned into work. Um, there's a whole lot to talk about here. I don't want to go into all of the details, but if you sign up, no, I'm joking. But I think
You cover that in Unit 3.
yeah, if you sign up for our webinar, we cover that in Unit 3, and for only 4 easy payments of $49.99, you can get this information.
49.99.99
Whatever you're
and
willing to
36
pay.
cents.
Okay, but seriously, through social media, so a couple things. Of course, I would recommend show what you do. If you're doing graphic design or like Anthony is always talking about painting, then I would recommend showing what you do, and people will see it. However, I know last podcast you mentioned like the people that follow you are may not necessarily be looking for a painting. They may just like art. So
Yeah.
you really have to think about how much time you invest in to the social media stuff and which platform to invest your time in. So that goes back to, I guess,
Yeah.
spending a lot of time trying to analyze your clients. And if you already have clients, then think about how you found them and what social media they use and what type of marketing would work for them. Would it work for them to see things you've done, or would it work for them to see something saying, hey, I do this? You know what I'm saying? Like telling someone I do business cards, or just saying, look, I did design this business card. Like it's on social media, it can be two different messages. So I think you should think about that.
Yeah.
Do you do any besides posting pictures? Do you do any? Have you ever gotten a client off of social media?
Um, sorta. I mean, I don't count Etsy as a client. I mean, as a social media
Mm-hmm.
thing, but I've gotten people. Yeah, I've gotten clients like through part of my work out on
Hmm.
Etsy.
So
But most stuff comes from referrals, which ties back to what you're saying before about letting people know that you're looking for work, because that's how I got what I'm working on now, is because somebody had done other work for. Was like, hey, if you got anything,
mm-hmm.
let me know. And they pass me on to somebody else.
Yeah, so that, yeah, hold that thought. So I think from social media, like you were talking about referrals, I think I've gotten referred on social media several times. I see a lot, like, so I'll go on Facebook sometimes, rarely, because I don't want to be influenced by the Russians. But
Hmm.
when I go on there, sometimes I'll see that people have mentioned me. Like someone will be like, "Hey, I need a really good web designer. I need a good graphic designer to make a logo," and
Oh
someone will
yeah.
mention me in a reply to whoever's query. So I think it's useful to be on there. And
Are they asking if you know somebody?
no, that's messed up.
Like
Hey,
David's
I
a
know you're
graphic
trash,
designer,
but
but
do
he
you
can
know someone
refer
that's
you
good?
somebody in the
Nah, but so I think it's useful to be out there and maybe put some of your work out there, because then if you're referred, someone can like see a little bit of your work, and that can be working on your behalf without you having to do anything. So I've
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
referred by
I
friends of
mean,
friends and stuff like that. And I've connected with some of the people and actually gotten some money through. I mean, yeah, we got some of our clients have come through Facebook, through our Facebook page actually.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I think that's the strongest one, especially with like design work. The word of mouth.
So one thing I did, it was probably like a year ago when I was trying to actually be active on Twitter. That has ceased. Um, I went on Twitter and did a search for hashtag graphic design or graphic designer, and I saw a lot of people asking, "Hey, anybody know a good graphic designer? Hey, I need some graphic design work. Hey, I need whatever work." And so I used to just reply to people, and I would get DMs
Oh,
from people asking for stuff. Most of it fell through for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because I never go on Twitter, but um, I did see some interest and I did see some interaction, and I know some of these people saw, hey, this person's a graphic designer, they followed me or whatever, and then they were disappointed because they never heard from me again because I don't tweet that often. But whatever. it's definitely a platform you can use. And I think if you build that audience or that group of people, even if it's just people you know, then it makes it easier for them to refer you on. Because if I'm on Twitter all the time and I know you do graphic design, it's easier for me to say, yo, at other person who needs graphic design, Anthony does graphic design.
Yeah.
So, I forgot what I said we were going back to. So I guess number one was be ready. Number two was you could use social media stuff to find people. Number three that I thought of would be infiltrating a network. Now, I don't mean like hacking into someone's Wi-Fi or nothing like that, and I don't mean like
the Russians.
I don't mean like trying to infiltrate the KKK or nothing like that. But what I mean is like,
did you see that movie?
Black Klansman? No, not yet. I need to investigate a way to see it. I'll say that. So infiltrating a network. I've done this several times, but not necessarily on purpose. But like, let's say when I first started out, I started doing some work for some people who are a member of a church organization. So did some work for them. They liked the work. Finally got them to pay and all that type of stuff. But then in the process, I met other people within the same organization who over time they realized they needed stuff too. And then they did work for them. They were happy. They realized, they introduced me to other people who may have needed work, who introduced me to other people who needed work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then over time, it became established within that group that I was the go-to guy for this type of stuff. Of course, there's other people there that did it too, whatever, but I became pretty well known in that area for the work I was doing, and it made it easy because it was referrals within the group, but because they were all in the group, then I knew that they would be aware of the stuff I did before, because I could say, well, remember that flyer that was done for this program 4 weeks ago at the church, et cetera, et cetera. Then I could say, yeah, that's what I did. And then they were like, oh, I love that. Can you do this? So it made it easy to it was a lot of carry-on work from the initial clients, but also additional work from other people who kind of had association, and just by being their membership in the group, they were aware of what I did. Yeah. You could do the same thing in a lot of other ways, but that's just one brief example.
Yeah. And people are generally kind of lazy with looking for people. They're going to go with like, oh, you know a guy? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
they
proximity. Don't want to look. Yeah, because I think there's depending on your demographic, but I would say like some of the older people who may have more money to spend on these types of things, or more ideas or whatever, they may be a little more hesitant about seeking people out via social media or Instagram or whatever. So if you are in proximity to them and they've seen your work already somehow, then it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, and especially depending on the people, they're like, oh, you know how to do this. They're gonna think you know how to do everything, like fix their computer and everything else. So they're not gonna look. They were not gonna go and ask somebody else. So I would say, I mean, I feel like because like some of the 3 suggestions that you gave. Wait, were you giving 3 suggestions?
Those are the 3 I've given so far.
Oh, okay, yeah, more.
Maybe.
Okay. No, I was just gonna add to those. Like, I mean, especially if you are the guy, or the girl, or whatever, honor that commitment. Like, don't let them down. That's how you keep. I mean, that goes a long way to getting new clients. Is you leaving, having your name be good. So people are like, yeah, this is my guy, and they're gonna keep on referring you because you do good work and you do stuff on time and everything. Because if you don't, then that's gonna, you never know how much money that's gonna keep you from, because they're like, yeah, well, he's all right, but I mean, he ain't gonna get it to you anytime soon.
Yeah, I completely agree. Your reputation is pretty much invaluable, and my reputation with some people has gotten to the point where I don't need a business card because they will, like, anytime something is brought up related to graphic design, web design stuff, it's automatically, well, David, blah blah blah, and so it's not a thing where I have to look for work because I have a constant stream of work through someone who I impressed.
Yeah.
So aside from the infiltrating a network thing, I think a lot of these kind of go hand in hand. It's all about, like, I think yeah, these all go hand in hand. I can't really separate them out. They are separate things you can do, but I think you should be prepared to do all of them. Um, there's the other tip about, like, doing work for friends and family and stuff like that. That's fine as long as you do a good job. Because if you,
I feel like that's what we need
yeah,
first. We need when you don't have a portfolio yet.
But I mean, the thing still applies. Like, you got to do your best, even if you're not getting paid a lot, because you'll never get a portfolio. If you do a $20 job for something you're getting paid $20 for, then you'll never have a portfolio that will justify getting paid more if you keep doing $20 work.
Yeah.
So you got to do, let's say $100 work for $20, so the next time you can charge $100.
Yeah, I would suggest, especially, something I need to do. I just thought of it, but, find, I mean, if you're new somewhere or, you move to another city or you're trying to get to a different, a different level of client in a different area or whatever, find some ways to do, it's better than just doing free work for random people that you don't really care about. Maybe find some way to contribute to something that you actually care about. And, that way you don't feel bad about doing work for free or, for cheap for this, whatever cause this is or whatever, because it's something that you care about.
I'm sure, like, yeah.
And then that way, and it's closer to, people are going to know you do it, and maybe, people that may pay you for it, and you're closer to it. And that way you don't, you don't have that guilt of like, I need this money, because it's like, all right, well, I'm doing something worthwhile. And I don't know, that's just an idea I thought of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've done that before, but I'm trying to think of a concrete example. But I know that there's lots of clubs and organizations and, like, charity societies and stuff like that you can work with, where they may need something done to help promote whatever they're doing. So if you put it together and say, hey, I'd like to help you put something together.
Yeah, and I can do this for you.
And again, it goes back. It's all a loop, because now you've done something great for these people. They're able to go ahead with what they're doing. They like you. And they know you do that. So everybody there is not, like, let's say it's a charitable organization or whatever, or some kind of shelter. Everybody there is not going to be those homeless people. There are some people there that will have resources and connections that could help you move up and find other real, not real clients, but other clients. So I wouldn't think of it as wasted time.
Yeah. And that way you're not doing flyers for your cousin that's trying to be a club promoter.
So that's where I would say, yeah, there's a lot there, but I would say, like, you got to be careful what you start out doing or what you do a lot of, especially because you don't want to get pigeonholed into designing club flyers. It's fine if that's what you want to do, but if that's not what you want to do, then you want to try.
No one should want to do that.
I don't mind people doing it; it's fine. But if that's not where you're trying to go, if that's not what you're trying to do, then I would recommend you try and connect with someone who's doing something similar to what you're trying to do. Try and get that type of work, and not just, you can do the other stuff, but just don't get too much of it, because then at some point someone's going to ask to see your portfolio, and if all your portfolio is club flyers and Photoshop pictures for IG models or whatever, then that's what they're going to expect from you.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another good reason to find some kind of meaningful thing to do some work for, because that's stuff that looks good in your resume.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Oh, it shows that you
have some range.
You care, even if you don't. Yeah. And it's, it probably has more of an impact. It's like, oh, I'm doing this thing for this charity that feeds homeless pigeons, and, every pigeon needs a home, then people are going to, feel more connected to that.
Tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say is, of course, if you're in a place where you can find other designers or other people who do the same thing you do, it's good to connect with them because a lot of times they have more. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they may have more work than they need. Sometimes
Yeah.
they can tell you how they found the people they work with. So, of course, sometimes they may be shady or whatever, but that's a risk you run with any person you deal with.
Yeah.
So by interacting with those type of people, you can hopefully get some tips and tricks and learn something about how they found their people, who they're working with, and all that type of stuff. And maybe they can send some work your way. Because I have,
Yeah.
because of the like, I have a 9 to 5 job, but I do graphic design stuff a lot on the side. So I have at least one person I work with who, a couple times a year, she'll get so busy that she can't finish stuff, and so she'll send stuff my way. That's awesome because
Yeah.
I don't have to look for it. And as long as I
Yeah.
keep delivering quality work for her, then it's not a problem. Just like I'll send work your way sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do quality work though.
Exactly, and that's why I don't send work your way very often. But if you were to do
Exactly.
quality work, things could be different.
What?
So, any
um,
other ways you can
I
think of to find clients? I think we have like 4.
um, some of these apply to me. Leave your house. Sometimes go somewhere other than the gym. Um, I would say, try to go to maybe check out some networking things, but you want to kind of vet those. Sometimes those can be kind of super opportunistic or,
I've been to some of those where
or,
it's all like the pyramid scheme people.
oh, it's like an entrepreneurs meeting and they're all there trying to sell travel packages.
Well, it's like those or like whatever those any of those pyramid schemes, and I'm like, no, I thought this was like real stuff. This is a waste of my time.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
I
you
can say
could,
even still, I've gone to some of them and I've given out business cards, got connections and stuff like that, and at least it's
yeah.
making people aware. At least.
Yeah. I mean, some ways I don't. I mean, I just had a thought. No, I'm not. I kind of still have the thought. I just don't know how to word it. But um, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to be assertive with it. Like you see somebody doing something, then try to jump in there and see if you can help them. I don't know. I don't know. I mean that. I don't know. That's dangerous. Never mind. That's not a good idea. Actually, I mean it'll be more work for you potentially. But depending on who it is, it may not be somebody that, is an ideal client. But not that you can't do work for them, but, just be careful with that. But, what you do is convince your friend with money to start a business, and then you turn that into work for yourself. And then, this is a bad idea. Never mind.
All right. Well, thanks for that tip. Well, I think those are the main ones I can think of. I would say there's a lot of stuff you can do on the internet to find people and possibly get them to be interested in your business, like through like putting your business on Google and using social media, like we talked about, all that type of stuff. But I'm not sure. Well, I can say for me, the most effective stuff has been in person. Because when you meet me in person, it's a
Yeah.
name and a face, and I can talk about and prove my intelligence and stuff like that. And maybe I can even show you some work or whatever. But that has been far more effective for me than anything I've done on the internet. Because I do work with a lot of people that I've never met before in person, but a lot of them were referred to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with a lot of things, I mean, people work with people that they
Mm-hmm.
like. I mean, there's a million people offering something similar, but it's like, but I like this person, so this is who I'm going to go to. So I don't know. Have a good personality.
Well, yeah, that helps too. Like being likable. And so, like, if you're going to do a lot of the internet stuff where you're posting through social media, et cetera, then I think it is helpful to have some way for people to see who you are and kind of get an idea of your personality and the type of stuff. So, YouTube, a podcast, whatever, so that people can kind of get an idea of who you are, how you work, that type of stuff. Because then I think that helps build confidence and helps them feel more comfortable in working with you. And it's not just some stranger in my email.
Yeah, somebody on Fiverr.
But even if you're doing it on Fiverr, I think there's a lot of things you can do to kind of, you put up a picture, you can fill out your profile so they kind of know a little about you or whatever, so that they feel more comfortable interacting with you and working with you, like maybe feel like some sort of connection with you. Because so like,
I agree.
Quick example, I have twin girls, and so a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I don't do it on purpose, but it'll come up. Hey, yeah, I gotta go do something with my daughters. Oh, you have daughters? How old are they? They're both the same age. They're twins. And then I can go into that whole conversation. It works well, especially like, I won't say I do it on purpose, but it does come up. But with women and mothers, it works well because they're like, oh, that's great. And then,
why are you talking to so many women and mothers?
Oh, need help. Not all of them. I mean, there's a lot of strong women out there that don't need help, but some of them ask me for help. So, yeah, I feel like it helps because it's like, oh, you're a real person.
Yeah. In depth.
Exactly.
Struggle. Intrigue.
You're not just like some mystery.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of any more, honestly, because I think some of the things I was thinking of or I had on my list or things that we kind of covered or that you mentioned, because they're all kind of connected. I mean, it's, a lot of it is, try to make new connections and then especially honor the connections that you have.
Yeah. Honor those connections and then just be ready when the time comes so that you can put your best foot forward. Yeah. Don't just work on your website. Also work on your, like what you are like in person. Like be a nice, interesting, easy to talk to person, as well as having a great website. Because like if you got a website and I call you and you're hard to talk to or hard to communicate with, then why?
Yeah, I mean, like I heard a pastor say once, "We ready." We ready for y'all.
What if heaven was hell and vice versa?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the pastor you were referring to.
Yes, that is the pastor.
Talking about P.T. Cruiser, Pastor Troy.
Well, he had a point. We ready for y'all.
I seriously thought you were talking about like a real pastor.
Hey, I mean,
yeah, it is good to be ready.
For y'all.
Exactly. Well, thanks everybody who tuned in. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for listening and stuff. I guess tuning in and listening to the same thing. Happy holidays if you believe in that type of stuff. If not, enjoy the days off of work.
If you don't have days off work and you don't believe in the holidays,
something's wrong.
Happy Tuesday.
Enjoy your Tuesday. Yeah. Also, check out our shop. As always, our shop, t-shirts, hoodies, and all that stuff are out there. Check it out. Buy something if you'd like. There's probably some kind of promo going on with shipping and Christmas and stuff like that. So definitely check it out.